Most people assume that when they see my wife Kim and I today flying on private jets, driving nice cars, owning thousands of rental properties, that she must have married me for money. But let me tell you the truth. When Kim married me, I was broke. Not just broke and nearly $1 million in debt. Now let me ask you this. Would you marry someone who owed more than $800,000? Be honest. Most people wouldn't. But Kim did. And that's why I say she's the true hero in our story. See, what most people don't understand is that wealth doesn't come from money. It comes from mindset, discipline, and the courage to face the truth. And the truth was, when Kim and I started out, we had absolutely nothing. In fact, less than nothing. We had debt. Big debt. Back then, I was between businesses. I had already failed at 2 ventures, and instead of being a rich guy, I was the classic broke guy pretending to be rich. You know the type. Driving a nice car, eating at fancy restaurants, looking successful on the outside, but on the inside, broke, stressed and praying to God, Jesus and Buddha all at once, hoping that somehow money would magically fall from the sky. I had mastered the art of looking rich, but here's the problem. You can lie to your friends, you can even lie to yourself for a while, but you can't lie to your wife. And Kim, she saw through it all. So the very first step I had to take to get out of debt was brutal, but necessary. I had to tell the truth. And listen, don't click away, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact steps Kim and I took to dig ourselves out of almost $1 million in debt. These lessons are simple, practical, and life-changing. If you stay with me till the end, you'll walk away not just with hope, but with a clear roadmap to financial freedom. Hey, if you're into real, down-to-earth money talks and mindset shifts that actually teach you something, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Point 1. Be honest with yourself. I sat Kim down and confessed, Kim, I am not the rich guy I've been pretending to be. We're in debt, and not just a little debt. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now imagine being in her shoes. Would you stay, or would you run? She stayed, but not because she was crazy. She stayed because she saw something deeper than the financial disaster. She saw a man who was willing to learn, willing to grow, and willing to fight his way out. And that's the first lesson for anyone drowning in debt. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. So ask yourself right now, are you lying to yourself about your financial reality? Point 2. Stop accumulating bad debt. Once we faced the truth, the next step was simple but painful. We had to stop digging the hole deeper. No more pretending. No more shiny toys. No more buying stuff that made us look rich, but kept us poor. Kim and I even moved out of Hawaii and lived in the basement of a tiny apartment in California. We were technically homeless. There were weekends when Kim had only a couple of dollars to survive, until I came back from work. And let me tell you, nothing humbles a man faster than watching his wife count her last few dollars while you're buried in debt. But it was a sacrifice we had to make, because if you don't stop the bleeding, you'll never heal. Point 3. Write down all your debts. This was the hardest part. Kim literally sat me down at the table and said, Robert, we are writing it all out. Every credit card, every loan, every dollar you owe to family and friends, every nasty letter from creditors. And I hated it. I didn't want to face it. I thought, maybe if I ignore it, it'll just disappear. But that's not how life works, is it? So I finally made a complete list. And once I saw it on paper, it was like ripping off a bandage. It hurt, but it was freeing. You see, money problems thrive in the dark. The moment you shine a light on them, you start to regain control. Point 4. Get professional help. At that time, I thought hiring an accountant was too expensive. I thought, I can barely pay my bills. Why would I pay someone else? But my rich dad gave me a piece of advice that changed everything. Poor people can't afford to keep accurate records. Rich people can't afford not to. So Kim and I hired an accountant, and it was one of the smartest moves we ever made. Because here's the truth. When you're stressed, ashamed and overwhelmed by debt, you stop paying attention to details, and details matter. Point 5. Create a visual plan. Kim came up with a system that was genius in its simplicity. For each debt we wrote the creditor's name, the total amount owed, the minimum monthly payment, and the number of months it would take to pay it off. If we stuck to the plan, for example, Visa card, total $2,000, minimum $100, that's 20 months. Suddenly the mountain of debt didn't feel endless. It had a timeline, a finish line, and that gave us hope. Point 6. Pay off the smallest debt first now. People always ask me, Robert, shouldn't you pay off the highest interest debt first? And my answer is not necessarily. See, this isn't just about math. This is about psychology. When you pay off the smallest debt first, you get a quick win. You see progress. You prove to yourself that the formula works, and that motivates you to keep going. It's not about the interest rate. It's about building momentum. Point 7. Assets versus liabilities. Now here's where the real breakthrough happened. While most people spend their lives trying to pay bills and buy liabilities they think are assets, I taught Kim and myself that the real game is about acquiring assets. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. It's that simple. When I was 25, I bought my first small condo. It wasn't glamorous, but it put $25 in my pocket every month. That tiny trickle of cash flow was the start of everything. Fast forward to today, Kim and I own over 6,500 rental properties. Every single month, those properties put money in our pocket. That's why we can live the lifestyle we live today. And guess what? Almost all of it was built with debt. But not bad debt, good debt. Debt that creates cash flow. Kim and I learned something powerful along the way. You don't get rich by avoiding problems. You get rich by becoming bigger than your problems. If you can't handle a $1,000 problem, how will you ever handle $1 million opportunity? Most people stay small because their problems feel bigger than they are. But if you grow, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, you outgrow the problem. That's the real path to wealth. Finally, let me leave you with this. Face the truth. Stop digging. Write it all down. Get professional help. Create a visual plan. Build momentum with small wins. And most importantly, focus on building assets, not buying liabilities. That's how Kim and I went from being broke and $800,000 in debt to being financially free. The truth is, anyone can achieve financial freedom, but it starts with one question. Are you willing to face the truth about where you are, so you can finally build the life you want? If this video brought you value or stirred something in you, give it a like, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Videos like this take weeks of research, writing and care to create. Don't just watch and go away. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to hear what stuck with you the most.